Have you ever woken up, looked at the clock, and felt that sinking dread about the day ahead? The routine feels like a treadmill you can't escape. Rushing out the door, sitting in the traffic, staring at the screen for hours doing work that doesn't inspire you, and then doing it all over again tomorrow. The idea of spending the next 30 or 40 years like this, it's overwhelming. That's what my life was for years. And one day I realized I couldn't live that anymore. I spent 6 painful years studying in dentistry, convinced it would be my golden ticket to a better future. It took over $35,000 in student debt, believing it was the price of success. And I thought, once I graduate, all this hard work will finally pay off. But the reality was far from that what I imagined. After graduating, I was met with crushing debt that loomed over every decision I made. My paycheck felt like a cruel joke. Barely enough to cover my loans, let alone save for a home or enjoy the life I've been working. What I thought would be freedom turned out to be a cage. It was like climbing a mountain for years, thinking the summit was my dream life, only to reach the top and see even taller, steeper mountains waiting for me. That's when it hit me. This wasn't freedom. This was survival. I started asking myself the question that haunted me. Is this really the life I worked so hard for? Is this what I want to do every day for the next 40 years? Those questions wouldn't leave me, no matter how much I tried to ignore them. In the beginning, I told myself this was normal. Everyone hates their job, right? I should be grateful for even having one. But deep down, I couldn't shake the feeling of being trapped. It felt like I was a hamster on a wheel, running endlessly but going nowhere. It wasn't just the long hours or the constant stress. It was the emptiness. I do come home every day completely drained, with no energy left to do things that actually matter to me. I look at my future and thought, is this it? Wake up, work, pay bills, repeat until I'm 70? And too exhausted to enjoy what little time I have? The scariest part was just how tired I was. It was the realization that I didn't make a change. This would be my life forever. And the thought of that terrified me more than the fear of leaving. One night after a especially exhausting shift, I sat by my window and staring into the dark and just felt empty. I thought about everything I sacrificed to get here. Years of study, sleepless nights, tens of thousands in debt. For what? To feel this miserable? That night, a question hit me like a brick. How did I let this happen? How did I end in a life I hate? And the most painful realization, if I didn't do something, nothing would ever change. That night, I decided I couldn't live like this anymore. But deciding was just the first step. Figuring out what to do the next was terrifying. Let's be real, leaving a 9-to-5 isn't easy. It's terrifying. The security of a paycheck, the routine, the identity that comes with the career is hard to let go. I spent weeks grappling with this question, like, what if I fail? What if I can't pay my bills? What will people think of me? Then a scarier thought crept in. What if I don't leave? What if I stay in this unfulfilling life, wake up 30 years from now, filling with regret for never taking a chance? That fear of regret became stronger than my fear of failure. I realized I'd rather risk falling flat on my face than staying stuck in a life I hated. But leaving my job wasn't enough. I had to change myself first. Here's the truth. The problem wasn't just the job. It was me, my mindset, habits, and beliefs were keeping me stuck. If I wanted a different life, I had to become a different person. I started small, reading books like Atomic Habits by James Clear, which taught me the power of tiny, consistent changes. I began waking up 10 minutes earlier to plan my day, setting aside time to learn new skills, and reframing how I thought about success. I also read A Millionaire Next Door, which completely shifted how I thought about money. I realized that wealth isn't about a big salary, it's about discipline, intentions, and living below your means. That book helped me to see that I didn't need a job to survive. I needed a new mindset. As I worked on my mindset, things started to shift. I stopped seeing the 9-to-5 as my only option. I began exploring new ways to create an income, build skills, and design a life that aligned with my value. It wasn't easy. I failed more times than I can count. But as I built new habits and changed the old ones, my life started to transform. I no longer felt like a victim of my circumstances. I felt like the creator of my future. If you're stuck in a life that drains you, waiting for the perfect moment to make a change, let me tell you, it doesn't exist. Staying in a life that doesn't fulfill you is a choice. Leaving is also a choice. The question is, which choice are you willing to live? If you're feeling stuck in a 9 to 5 that doesn't align with your values, ask yourself, what am I waiting for? Start small, build one habit, challenge your one belief, take one step toward the life you truly want, because the truth is, when you change yourself, you'll change your life. The only question is, when will you start?